In this chapter, we descend even deeper into legends that refuse to stay buried. Stay until the end, because the final one watches silently from above, unmoving until you look away. Welcome back to Wendigo Whisper, where myths breathe softly and truth never fully sleeps. 1. Kraken. Sailors once feared calm seas more than storms, because silence often came before the kraken. Medieval sailors described a colossal shape rising from the deep, its tentacles thick as ship masts, wrapping around hulls and dragging vessels downward without a scream escaping. Some claimed the ocean itself changed color before it appeared, swirling unnaturally as if something vast stirred below. Survivors spoke of enormous eyes breaking the surface, watching before the sea closed again. Entire crews vanished, leaving only splintered wreckage and unanswered questions. Maps were marked with warnings, and entire trade routes were abandoned after too many ships failed to return. Science offers explanations rooted in the depths. Giant squids exist and can reach astonishing sizes. Rogue waves, sudden whirlpools, and underwater volcanic activity can destroy ships without warning. In the age of wooden vessels and poor navigation, fear filled the gaps left by the unknown, yet doubts remain. Modern sonar has detected massive moving shapes far larger than known sea creatures. Deep-sea researchers report unexplained disturbances that shut down equipment, and sailors today still tell of shadows passing beneath their ships, slow and deliberate, as though something immense is deciding whether to rise. If these legends pull at something deep inside you, subscribe now. More stories are waiting, and each one listens as closely as you do. 2. Skinwalker. In the deserts and forests of the Four Corners region, within the Navajo lands of the American Southwest, people warn never to whistle at night. Legends speak of skinwalkers, beings that wear the skin of animals and mimic human voices to lure victims closer. Witnesses describe seeing wolves that stand upright, eyes too intelligent, watching from the tree lines. Others claim they heard a family member calling their name from outside, only to find no one there. Those who believe say skinwalkers move unnaturally fast, their joints bending wrong, their presence bringing overwhelming dread. Some encounters end with the witness frozen in fear, unable to scream or move until dawn. Science attributes these encounters to folklore-driven fear, coyotes mimicking sounds, and psychological suggestion. Stress, darkness, and cultural expectations can cause the brain to misinterpret normal stimuli. Predators often behave strangely around humans, especially when hungry or sick. Yet similar reports surface again and again. Law enforcement reports unexplained footprints that shift from human to animal. Motion cameras capture distorted shapes that vanish mid-frame. And in some communities, people still avoid certain roads after dark, convinced something listens from just beyond the light, learning their voices. 3. Tlanchana. In central Mexican folklore, the tlanchana is described as strikingly beautiful. A woman with long hair, adorned with aquatic plants, jewels, and shimmering scales, with serpent-like lower limbs. Her voice is said to carry with unnatural clarity, pressing heavily on the air. Those who approached felt their strength fade as hidden currents pulled them inward. Legends say she lured travelers into deep water where they drowned silently. Some survivors claimed the air grew heavy around her, their limbs weakening as if the land itself wanted them gone. Locals warn that her reflection sometimes appears in water before she does. In some regions, she is said to be bound to specific rivers, returning to the same crossings generation after generation. Science explains these tales through natural hazards. Rivers hide sudden drop-offs, strong currents, and underwater sinkholes. Fatigue, dehydration, and mirages can cause hallucinations, especially in harsh environments. Stories often form to warn people away from dangerous places. Anthropologists note that such legends frequently appear where water sources are both vital and deadly, reinforcing caution through fear rather than instruction. But the legend of Tlanchana is still alive. Locals report seeing the same figure for generations, unchanged by time. Some claim animals refuse to drink from certain waters, and occasionally someone vanishes near a river with no sign of struggle, leaving behind only stories whispered carefully after sunset. 4. Leviathan. Ancient texts speak of Leviathan as a sea serpent so vast it coiled beneath the world. Sailors described endless scales breaking the surface, waves forming along its back as it shifted far below. Some believed storms were caused by its movement, earthquakes by its turning. To see Leviathan was considered a death sentence because nothing escaped its territory. Entire coastlines were said to tremble when it passed beneath them. In Hebrew scripture, Leviathan appears not merely as a monster, but as a symbol of chaos, representing forces beyond human control and comprehension. Later medieval maps and manuscripts placed massive sea serpents in unexplored waters, warning sailors of regions where ships routinely vanished. Science suggests symbolic exaggeration, combined with sightings of whales, sea snakes, and tectonic activity. Early civilizations used monsters to explain forces they couldn't control. The ocean's scale alone can inspire terrifying conclusions. Large underwater seismic shifts can displace enormous volumes of water, creating disturbances that ancient observers may have attributed to a single moving entity. Yet modern tales of the Leviathan persist. Satellite imagery has captured long, serpentine disturbances moving independently of currents. Submarines have reported sonar contacts that circle them deliberately. And deep beneath the waves, something large enough to remain unseen may still be moving slowly, patiently, waiting. 5. Bloody Mary. Children repeat her name into mirrors, daring one another to see if she will answer. Bloody Mary is said to appear behind the glass, her face distorted, eyes hollow or burning. Witnesses describe scratches appearing on skin, lights flickering, and the sudden sense of being watched long after the ritual ends. Some swear the reflection moves on its own, smiling when the person does not. Others claim the mirror fogs from the inside, as if something is breathing against it. Variations of the ritual date back to at least the 19th century, spreading through oral tradition long before modern media amplified it. Science points to suggestion, low lighting, and the brain's tendency to distort faces when staring too long. Known as the Troxler effect, mirrors can cause hallucinations under stress, especially in dim environments. Group settings increase suggestibility, making shared experiences feel coordinated and real. Fear completes the illusion. Some historians suggest the name may be loosely linked to Queen Mary I of England, though no direct historical evidence connects her to the ritual itself. But some experiences seem undeniable. Multiple people report the same details independently, despite learning the ritual in different places. Security cameras have malfunctioned during mirror rituals, and in rare cases, people insist they heard breathing behind them while alone with the mirror still. 6. The Skadegamutc. According to the mythology of the Wabanaki peoples, a skadegamutc is the undead return of an evil sorcerer. Often described as a skeletal or rotting spirit, sometimes called a ghost witch, it rests in its grave by day and rises at night to haunt the surrounding lands. Witnesses reported glowing eyes, the stench of decay, and an ability to whisper directly into the mind, luring travelers deeper into the forest and feeding on their fear. Encounters were said to trigger overwhelming panic, and many who followed it were never found. Though extremely dangerous and a powerful spellcaster, the skadegamutc could be destroyed permanently by fire. Science interprets this as a cautionary myth, meant to keep people from wandering alone. Decomposition smells, predatory animals, and darkness can combine into terrifying sensory experiences. Fear itself can feel like an external presence. Psychologists note that extreme fear can trigger dissociation and auditory hallucinations, especially in unfamiliar wilderness environments where survival instincts are heightened. Still, hikers report cold spots in dense woods, sudden paralysis without cause, and voices that seem to come from nowhere. Search teams sometimes find camps abandoned mid-action, as if people fled without understanding why. Something in those forests knows how fear works, and it has learned how to use silence as effectively as sound. Whether it is the skadegamutc or not remains a mystery. 7. Gargoyle. Perched high above cities, gargoyles have watched life happening below their feet for centuries. Legends claim they come alive at night, stone cracking into muscle, eyes glowing as they hunt or protect sacred ground. Some witnesses insist they've seen statues shift positions, claws gripping ledges differently by morning. Others swear they heard stones scraping when no one was near. Old caretakers claim gargoyles move only when they are unobserved. Historically, gargoyles emerged in medieval Europe as waterspouts on churches and cathedrals, designed to divert rainwater away from stone walls, while also serving as symbolic guardians meant to ward off evil. Science explains gargoyles as architectural features weathered by time and imagination. Movement is attributed to shadows, birds, and pareidolia, a psychological phenomenon where the human brain perceives familiar patterns where none actually exist, especially faces. But stone does not move on its own. Temperature changes can cause stone to expand and contract, producing cracking or scraping sounds that seem intentional in quiet hours. Yet the gargoyles remain mysterious symbols. Night guards report statues facing new directions. Aerial footage has occasionally shown rooftop statues, later found to be missing, most often explained by renovations or undocumented removals. And some gargoyles show wear patterns inconsistent with simple erosion, as though the night itself had borrowed their bodies and brought them back just before sunrise. These creatures endure not through evidence, but through experience. If you dare, revisit parts 1 and 2 and subscribe to Wendigo Whisper. Some stories don't want to be forgotten, and many creatures may still be watching.